Actually, I'm going to change this screen to this one so y'all can see my mug on these recordings. I just noticed it wasn't on that. All right, so we're good, guys. We're live on YouTube. Still got about 2 minutes, but we can just kind of hang out for a second and we'll get going. It's going to be a fun one today. Um, let's flip over to the charts. Yeah, if you guys remember, just while we're waiting, just a recap, right? So we talked about, not holding this line. We had our head and shoulders that broke down. I mean, our community, we rode this whole wave down. My ATAs rode the whole wave down. And if y'all remember, I said this is like going to be our first stop, right? Like we're not going to just to the floor. Could it happen? Yeah, but typically news is what will push that, right? So. Um, it was just cool to see, we wrote it up, we had our up, over, down, and we've just been kind of ranging right here, right? Which is literally what we had talked about on Friday, that we're probably just going to range in here. In this range, keep in mind, we can see as low as 26.6, right? And still be ranging in this spot, right? Because this is the previous low right here. And so we could see, if we continue to range in here, find our new range, we could range between 26.6, all as high as up into this level, right? 28.7. So we're kind of like right in the middle of where we could go. And a lot of that's going to be very highly dependent on what the stocks in the Dixie does, right? So let me move this over here. All right, so let's take a look at the stocks here. So obviously we have pre-market. The SPX has been open, so you can see we have a short call that just flipped up here on the double top. Um, Keep in mind, before I would take this call on this one, we're right on the EMA. We do have this trend line. I'm going to open up the SPX, and you can kind of see, you know, this was the original downtrend line that we had followed, right? We were kind of following this. It was kind of a mix between possible descending triangle, right? Or if you took this line here, it could be kind of a falling wedge, right? But that did break out, so we did break above that again. So that now has turned as support. And remember, even if it is that descending triangle, they could break either way. So, but we are finding resistance up in here. You have this red line, so let's just kind of back up and see where that came from. So if you guys are following on the charts, right, you guys can see, it's pretty much this line here back on August like 12th or so, and there's a few peaks in there. I have a few lower red lines I've been following. These actually are now green because we're above it, but I haven't swapped them to green apparently. Got lazy on my chart, so we'll just flop these whenever they flip. Candles go above. I like to flop them to green just to keep my color code system correct. All right. So, you know, this one right here I could probably take out, but it's my lower support. This one I'm going to go ahead and pull out because I'll redraw it if I need to. Um, Actually, you know what, guys, I'm going to pull that one out too. So we're just really trading in this range, right? So again, remember, we have our fall, we have higher lows and lower highs, right? So this could be kind of our bear pennant if this line can hold. That's why this downtrend line is really, really important because we also could be forming a longer term bear flag, right? So you have your fall and then you have your higher highs, higher lows. So we could see as high as 42.82, right, before that rejection back down and then the fall. So just kind of when you're playing your options, keep that in mind. We can see some definite more upside on the SPX. So I don't typically trade SPX. I mostly trade SPY to be honest with you. I've done well with it. So if it's not broke, why fix it, right? So and you can kind of see in these ranges here, right? We're just kind of ranging on the top. So I would like to see for me to be like really really bearish today, guys. Like on market open, a lot of times I'll take a put or a call, pretty quick. I mean, I don't mind taking that risk if the TA fits, but I'm still pretty leaning towards puts, and I actually have a put open from where I took it yesterday at the peak up here. So which is in profit right now. So we'll see how that plays out when it opens. But I would like the SPX to break below this red line. That would make me a lot more bearish than I am now. But we also have, if you guys notice here with my lines, I am following this rising wedge on the SPY, which is actually looking like it wants to break out. So if that breaks out, that's going to be a pretty good put. I would say, a breakout of like 411.60 would probably, you could set a take profit somewhere in the 409 range. If you zoom out, there's a lot of support around, 409, 4010 or 4010, 410. It's Monday. Give me a break, guys. 4010. Hit your target for now. Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm looking at that. Like I said, I'm in a 10-day contract for a put anyway, so um, but that's kind of that rising wedge that I'm playing on those. So for those who do crypto, if you're new, you may ask, why do we cover the stocks? Remember, the stocks are what controls the market, so the crypto market. So if I say we're going down in stocks, we're likely going down in crypto, aside from news, right? So let's take a look. I did split my screens. If you guys are following my charts on how I do it, I did separate the SPY with the VIX and the Dixie, just because I'm kind of reallocating how I'm doing my indicators. We are working on kind of a cool indicator setup here that we're trying to put together a few different things, right? So some data. So we're always in our community, we're always looking for ways to make new indicators that will help you guys learn how to trade. So, or to stay on the right side of the trade, right? So on the VIX, you can see the pre is way up. That's what's causing us bearish, but we are at this previous level. I'd like for us to break above 18, right? And then we should get a pretty good breakout from there, because that would put us above these previous levels here, which would break us pretty north. So for those who don't know, the VIX is going to be also inverse to the market. So if the VIX goes up, market goes down. VIX goes down, market goes up. So the dollar, as you guys know, if you were following me earlier, um, we are watching this lower level here. It's actually a green line. Let me change the color of this just so you guys can see a little better. Feels a little better. But this is our low, 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 low line, right? And so it's been bouncing off of that back and forth. This yellow line here is where it's also been holding support too. So my anticipation is, we'll probably continue to range or hold that level, and that's going to push us up into these levels. Now, if we can get past these red blocks here, these order blocks of 102.38, then it's going to break up pretty north pretty good, which will drive the markets down. So just keep in mind the pattern that this is playing out right now. You did have your double bottom, but it also could be forming your fall rising wedge, right? So just don't be faked out. Remember, Mondays are good old fake out Mondays. So we'll keep an eye on that throughout the day. Total market cap, as y'all remember, weeks ago we called this, kind of breakdown with the lower highs. I mean, I left my arrows here for that purpose, right? And we talked about a bounce off of here, which we did get. We got a double top, which pushed us past the EMAs, causing that death cross. Remember, we talked about if we got that death cross, we were going to fall all the way to these lower levels, which we did. It held support a little higher than I thought, but not really shocked, because this is like the lower of the lows. You do have a ton of support in this range right here, just ton, right? So that's why it's likely that we stopped here. So um, this is where, as a trader, you got to remember we can be bullish and then flip to really bearish, right? So for me to be really bearish, right, to see this full gap fill play out, we'd have to break this lower black line on the total market cap and hold as resistance, and then it's coming down quick, guys. But there is always that chance, right, that just like when you go up, you got to retest these EMAs, right? We're pretty gap filled from the 1 hour on the 200 EMA. So we could see a break north and reject off of this line, right, which would be the EMA. And that could be what drives us south. So could be the fake out today, right? Typically that first move is not the right one. So if you start to see us really dropping today, we're going to hit that lower low, and then it'll probably reverse up or get a pretty good bounce. So, which it looks like it's bleeding a little bit today so far. So, um, then we got into Bitcoin. So we kind of talked about Bitcoin a little bit. You guys know I was following this channel up here. We broke that channel. like we had talked about. I have been calling, I don't know, since 31 something that we're going to hit this 25.2 mark. A lot of what we do in our community, guys, is I don't just call them. I want to teach you guys, like, why did I call that? What did we see, right? Always remember what was once resistance turns to support. It just does all the time. Also, if you go to the higher time frames, right, y'all remember everybody was calling this infamous inverse head and shoulder, which is, good call. It played out, right? We broke our neckline. We played out. Well, if you take there's kind of two ways you can see this, right? So you have this right here is your peak of this shoulder, the peak of this shoulder, right? So that would be the 25.2. So if we come down here and we hit that 25.2, it's likely we're to get a pretty gnarly bounce. Now, if you take also, there's another line kind of hidden, right? So if you take a line in here like this, right? You kind of have like a lower intermediate neckline coming up, and that's also likely what stopped us here. So if this neckline right here breaks, right, then it's almost going to be a free fall down into this range. So that's kind of what I've been following within that. So also keep in mind, on the daily, I mean, we can fall as low as this EMA here, right? Because we have not retested it since the explosion, which is also the 200, which would put us down as low as 24, right? So it just depends on the momentum that gets started. And then obviously we still have our low that I have here. So, we could see this drop as low as down into even 22. Now, I would tell you guys if you're a bull and you start to see it come down and you want to take those longs, or if you're a bear, be super cautious of your shorts, when you hit this range and when you hit this range, because the bounce should be pretty good, right? And so keep that scalp mindset. So, but yeah, so far that everything's kind of playing out perfectly. Again, we are ranging here. We could see a push up north. Um, we could see a push up north this way. Kind of creating that shoulder head shoulder as well, right before the fall. So just because we make those calls doesn't mean it's happening like that day. So that everything in trading is always and or if. So just keep that in mind. Um, but so far so good. I'm happy with the calls that we made and kind of where we're going. ETH, you can see we had our up, over, down. Like we talked about, this level there's no way it was going to hold. This red line was pretty important back in the day, so I kind of left it. We are below that red line, right? And so my anticipation for ETH would be that a breakdown of Bitcoin would pull this down. Our low is somewhere in the 1370. I think that we would probably end up bouncing somewhere in this area here. Again, because, like Bitcoin, right? Here's our previous resistance, here's our previous support. It's likely to come down and hit a pretty nasty bounce this way. So now it doesn't mean we can't go down lower, right? We may actually hit this one and then bounce back up to 1860 before we break back down. But keep in mind, guys, I am a scalper and a gap fill trader. That's kind of what I like to do, right? I trade the gaps. And so for us to consider this gap from the 1300 pump filled, right? All we have to do is hit this area, 17. So once we hit this area, it's a whole new ball game, right? We can go to the moon from there. So there's going to be a lot of other factors we'll have to take into consideration, like trend lines. We'll have to identify some new possibilities of trend lines, right? So this might be one that we would have to take into consideration, right? So which I'll push out those TAs, once we hit that gap fill. But for now, I would probably, if I had to place this line anywhere, probably around here is where I would throw it, which is about 1682. So I think that's probably the bottom before a pretty good bounce. Aside from news, right? If news comes out, Coinbase leaves, and some other news drops, right? I mean, we could gap fill this thing in a hurry. So it's happened plenty of times. You look at like these areas right here, right, where we had this low, we pumped up, people didn't think we'd come back down, boom. I mean, we literally went from 17 all the way to 13, right? So definitely can happen. So just stick to your charts, stick to your rules, don't FOMO, ignore the news. Just you can listen to it, but don't just take them with a grain of salt. So let's talk about the ATAs because we got quite a few. So I am running Aave long, Aave short, ETH long, ETH short, LTC long, LTC short, Matic long, and Sol short. let's take a look at all those. So let's just start at the top. So what do we got? Ave. Well, let's see how the ATAs have been handling because we did remember open a lot of longs, right? So I'm curious if we got some of these guys stuck or not. Shorts are killing it on Aave. Look at this, 11 days, $144. I'm not even in a short right now for Aave, so that's awesome. So we can determine if we want to keep that one going or not. Um, yeah, I mean, for those who don't know the ATAs, right? Each time you see a red here, this is a short. Each time you see the orange, it's a close on the short. The deeper one is a dollar cost average that it did based on the settings that I had put in here. So I told it it can do a dollar cost average at that point. So it did the range that I told it to do, so which is perfect. So shorts are killing it. So I'm not going to touch those yet. Look at longs, killing it. Man, 3 days, almost $30. Not too bad on the longs, right? And I'm gonna keep those longs going. It's doing pretty well. It had a DCA here, got out in profit. This one was a good one. TP what 5, and I had another DCA out in profit here too. So um, I always like to analyze, guys. Always analyze the back data too, like how it's been doing, because if you find it's getting stuck a lot, you may not want to take that risk, right? You may want to stop it. So, but it did do two DCAs here, but that's okay. I think I only have one DCA I'll allow. Yeah. So I'm okay with those settings. So I think we're gonna let Aave continue on. Let's just double check before I make that final decision. I always zoom out. I refer back to the 1 hour, and I always look at my upper and my lower band, right? So I have green and red. That's how I mark my charts. If you're going through the academy, you're gonna see some of this kind of stuff on this I think it's 8 that we're releasing here in the next day or so. So you can see our lower and our high. We're still right in the middle, so I'm okay with running long and short. If I were to see this get closer to here, I may consider killing my shorts just because we did get a pretty good bounce off of that, right, from prior history. So I may kill my shorts around here because now the potential of the long is a lot bigger than the short, right? So we'll assess that. That'll probably pop up tomorrow, so we'll assess that during tomorrow's huddle. All right, let's check what's next. I use this as my to-do list when I run a lot of pairs because I don't want to forget one. The beauty of when you're organized on how you set these up, guys, you don't have to think about it. Like I literally don't think about these things during the week. Um, all right, let's check the longs. Okay, so it looks like ETH long is still in a trade. Gosh, look at this. It just missed the take profit like a few times. So, okay, so ETH did get stuck through the weekend. Let's see where it got stuck. Let's just scroll over here. Yeah, it looks like it. Oh, it must have been. Oh, that's right, guys. Remember, we ran ETH a little bit early. So it did do the DCA too. So ETH has been stuck for a little bit. I forgot about that because we did do the long a little bit early before the fall. But that's okay. We did do our DCA too. Um, sorry. My entry is 1880, so we're not. I mean, one pump and we're out. So I'm not worried. And I haven't done a DCA 3 yet on ETH yet. So we'll just let that one ride. Shorts are doing well. $28 in the 3 days when we started them. Once we reset it. It looks like it was in a short from last night around 4 a.m. And it did do a DCA here, and it actually is pretty close to the take profit, so it's like a right at the entry. So, but you guys know with ETH, I don't ETH is my. You should always pick one pair that you really like, and that's like your always run pair. Always run long, always run short, unless it's like really apparent that we're falling. Like I didn't run ETH long, if you guys remember, at 21K. I didn't start it up actually until like I think 19, something like that. So that's why that entry is up there. But I'm okay with that because I'm not too worried. Because if it falls, if we do, let's say we tank all the way to 15, right? I'll add a DCA 3. It'll bring my entry down to like 16 something, and one bounce and I'll be out. So, but you always want to have one pair you keep running because that's how you keep it earning, right? But also, I don't mind fighting one pair if I have to add more volume to it or manually take it over even. So, um, but the shorts are still earning, right? So made $30 in 3 days just on that direction. For those who don't know, this is on about a $5,000 account or so that you can do Gambit with. So, yeah, so I'm not gonna touch ETH. LTC, probably arguably one of my favorite coins because LTC is a beast. It just the way it trades, it just it does so well. It's so crazy. Let's go to the 1 minute. Let's see if it's stuck. Nope, not stuck. Love it. Okay, so we made look at what I'm talking about. $51 in 3 days. I mean, $51 just on longs on LTC. So crazy. It does so good. And look at it, it didn't really get stuck. I mean, a couple one DCAs here and there. Traded pretty sideways. This is where we started it, if you guys remember how we set those up. um, yeah, so awesome, 51 bucks. And when I say 51 bucks, guys, that's not LTC. That's 51 bucks LTC long only. We're not talking about shorts. So let's check out the shorts. So the shorts are still going. I still got to re-add this indicator. I'm not sure why this one bugged out, so it's not showing the profit on there. But this one's probably well over $500 because I've been running this one for like a month, right? I have not stopped LTC shorts. So, um, I mean, we could go. I don't even. I think actually I moved it because it was. I was trying to move the date, but let's see. Yeah, 4/1 is when I started it, and it was actually before that. I think this one's ran a full 30 days nonstop, and it has not got stuck. And look at this. This thing is just a beast. Just a beast. I mean, absolutely trading like crazy on shorts here. So, and currently it just took a short. Look at it, it waited all the way till it pumped up to here before it popped in its short again, and it's pretty much in profit right now. So, I don't know. I love me some LTC. Those of you guys in the community, you guys know what I'm talking about. LTC is a monster. So that's another one. That's my second favorite one. ETH is one that I just love to run. LTC is my second favorite one, and it's probably my biggest profiter. Okay, we're running Matic long, but it was Matic long only. So let's see how Matic long, because I remember Matic was stuck, I think, and it kind of sucked because it got stuck like right away, but that's okay. Yeah, I can tell it's still stuck. So the entry is up here. Did we ever DCA two? I don't remember. Yeah, we did do a DCA two, so that did bring that entry down. So we're not bad. I mean, entry's 105, we're at 99. Our low is probably 95. I'll probably look to do a I'll look to do another DCA somewhere around 95 or possibly lower. We can go to the 1 hour just to look. I mean, we're literally near some just really crazy support, so I'm not too concerned about Matic. The only thing that would drive this like way down is if Bitcoin does its full gap fill, then it would just wreck this. But I'm not gonna stop it though, and I'm not gonna add any more DCAs. So we're just gonna let that one roll. I got other pairs making money, and then let's see how the Sol short's doing. Anything? Let's see. Yep, I'm sure it's good. Anytime you see a downtrend like this, you know it's killing it. Look at that. It's not even in a trade. 60 bucks in 8 days, guys. Short and Sol. You can see it did his DCA here, got out in pretty good profit, and it's just been shorting it like crazy. Um, I mean, this is like the stretch of all the trades that it's done. 51 trades, scalping. All these trades, right? There's where we started. There's our yellow. So now the question begs, right? Today's Monday. Do we want to keep running Sol short? Do we think we're going lower? So again, just like every other pair, I always go to the 1 hour, zoom out, and I'm gonna find my top and I'm gonna find my bottom, right? And we're literally in the middle of it. I could probably start a Solana long if I wanted to, but I don't know that I'm going to because I already have one, two, three, I have four longs going. So if we pump up, I'm making plenty of money on that. So I don't need to be greedy with that. Because I have four longs and I have one, two, three, four, uh, yeah, four shorts. So I'm pretty balanced. So I'm not going to run anything else. We can take a look at, since we've got a few minutes here, let's take a look at Doge and XRP. See if they're in a range we want to touch it yet. Doge has been ranging pretty tight, so it could have done pretty well, but since this parabolic move, I didn't want to really touch it. Um, I'm still not going to touch it. It's kind of in the middle. It is holding support, guys, at the previous support level. Um, and you do have your double bottom here, so if this could potentially break up north a little bit on Doge. So yeah, so we're not going to touch Doge. Let's check XRP. I think we're pretty much good. Yeah, so XRP would have been all right too to run. I mean, it's just ranging. Remember, I told you guys before we start running XRP again, I want to see some support. I'd like to see a fall down into here, like 41, and then a bounce, right? And then that'll tell me, okay, we're back to ranging in this zone, and then I'll flip on XRP again. But until then, you know, XRP is it cracks me up, right? Because the people who are that love XRP FOMO into this crap so much, right? And because even people were messaging me like, "What's going on with XRP? Did they win their lawsuit?" Like, oh my gosh, people just start buying it, and like so many people bought right to cause this candle to come up, and then they all just get wrecked, absolutely wrecked. So that's why I say, guys, just ignore the news, just trade the coins. I make all my money in small movements through TA. Chasing news events could be super profitable. Everybody wants that big win, that $1 million, Dogecoin to the moon kind of win, right? Can you get those? Hey, maybe, right? Those are the lottery ticket plays. I mean, you can get some big wins off some big pumps off of those things, but you can also get wrecked pretty bad. So if you catch it at the wrong time, I like to just stick with what works for me, right? So if I see an opportunity, I'll jump in, but I'm not buying here. When I'm buying is going to be here when I see support nonstop found and I find higher lows, right, with a nice bullish wick. This is where you want to buy. Then you ride that pump. If you miss this pump, right? You might be able to buy in on a retest double bottom right here, but anything past that, just let it go. It's not worth it. You're gonna get wrecked. You may get one or two that you're like, but you're wrong. I made a $10,000 on this. You're gonna lose 20 on the next one because you're so excited about it. So it'll get you. The market will always keep you humble, guys. I promise you that. For every massive win when I got greedy, I would get even twice as big of a loss. So just stick to the charts. This is why we scalp in our room. This is why we teach scalping. We get in, we make our money, we get out. So, you guys seen, I don't always share my P&Ls on my options trading. But recently, people were asking me about it and stuff. So I threw out a couple P&Ls, but, last week it was a great week. I mean, I think I closed like, it was like 10 or 11 grand positive so for the week. So it's always nice to end up with a really great weekly gain, because when you get that kind of money, now I can go into this week and I can, I don't have to stretch or push something. I can just let the trades come to me, because I got time. So um, let's take a look. Yeah, look at this pre-market pump. This is what we're talking about. We'll probably get a pre-market pump here on the stock side of it, and then it's going to reverse, and that thing's just going to go and drop down like a nut. So, guys, if you're in the community, I will be opening Google Meets. Last week, I apologize, I didn't get as many as I normally like, or as long as I like, because we were trying to hash out that academy. I hope you guys are enjoying the academy. It seems I got a lot of feedback. Seems like you guys are. You guys are kind of seeing what we talked about. We broke that down really, really small, and kind of broke up the foundations of trading, so that way you can understand even what I'm talking about when I'm doing these calls. So I hope you guys are enjoying that. Keep in mind, if you are in the academy, we are expanding that academy. It's not, what we got and you're done. It's going to be like Netflix drops, right? We'll drop like 10 courses. We'll let you guys study those for a few months, right? Maybe a quarter. And then we'll come out and we'll drop season 2, right? Academy. So once you buy into the academy, it's not a monthly fee. You have access to that forever. So any content we add into that academy, you get that so forever. So awesome. I'm glad that you guys are really enjoying it. Those of you who messaged me, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. So, and the my kind of advice I want to give, in the last few minutes here, if you're struggling, if you're having a hard time finding entries, you're having a hard time, you're constantly losing, you feel like you're stressed, you're not sleeping, you're fighting, understanding this, come into the academy. Don't give up. I will tell you. I'll probably do a TikTok on this, maybe sometime this week. But for those who don't know me, when I started with CK in his first academy, I actually quit like twice. But the second time I quit, So I got liquidated on just the stupid FOMO call, right? I was new, I was young into trading. I was trading way bigger than I should have. And I still remember I messaged CK and I was like, I'm out. Like I can't do this. Like, and I almost quit. And it was funny because he came back and he's like, you're not quitting. Like, shut up. So we got on to a one-on-one. And I mean, he just spent a ton of time with me, right? And kind of helped build me up to understand that like I can do this, right? And I'm super grateful for that because if I didn't have that moment to kind of spin me into wanting to really do this and be determined, I wouldn't be where I am today, right? I would not be making those kind of profits that I am today. Everybody wants to profit right now. Everybody wants to make 10 grand a week right now. It will take time. Learn the charts. My favorite response that I get from people is, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for this. I don't have, I'm so busy. I'm so busy. You have 30 minutes you can take, every day. It's not, I mean, you, people, people will sit there and watch a whole 10 episode season of Netflix, right? But when it comes to bettering yourself or learning, right, I don't have time for this. Um, that's fine. I mean, if you don't have time for that, but me, I have time to that. I want to invest in myself and a skill that I can do until I die. Trading is something you can do till you die. I mean, it's, or until dementia kicks in, maybe, I don't know. But then forget I'm in my lungs. It's something that can last forever, so I'll give you guys uh, kind of a little into my more personal side of it, right? So as you guys know, we sold our house. We're buying a house. So although I have the cash from my house that I sold to put down on my house that I'm buying, my wife and I have kind of a challenge. And she said, she challenged me to see if I can trade in 1 month to earn the deposit for my house. I'll tell you guys, I'm halfway there already in 1 month. Imagine in 1 month, or actually I had 1 month to do it and I'm halfway there and I'm 2 weeks into that 1 month. So I'm on track. But imagine if you can take a skill to just trade to earn the money to put down on a house. I mean, that's insane, right? But that's how we teach in the room, and that's how I've changed my mindset. Is if I want something, like if we say, hey, we want to go on a trip to Mexico, how much is it? 4,000. Okay, I'm gonna trade for it. If I get it in a week, we go, right? If I get it in a month, we go. You learn to build your life around trading. And once you get, as far as extracurricular activities, right? Don't put your house payment up, but be smart. But once you get to that level where you can do that, right? It's so game changing, and it helps create discipline in your life too, because if you don't get it, you don't get it, right? But how cool is it to know that you can literally want to go buy something for $1,000 and you do, trade for a day or 2 days, however long your goals are, right? And you get it, and then you just withdraw it, you put it in your account, and you go buy it. I mean, it's literally like an ATM machine. I mean, how many people, in my life, I've been through debt. I mean, when we were young, we had to file bankruptcy, and all that. We had kids really young, and it sucks living check to check. It sucks to have that feeling of like, I have no way to make more money. Like, do I go DoorDash? Do I go do this or that? And you look up companies and they'll say you'll make 80 bucks a day and 50 bucks a day and 100 bucks a day. And you're thinking, sweet, times that by this and I can pay my bills. I'm here to tell you, 80 bucks I can do in a trade in about 5 minutes. Many of you guys have seen me do it. And that's like small end on trades. So, if you put time in yourself and you invest in doing this, think about it. Would you rather spend some time and learn this and be able to sit down and just make some money trading, right? Or would you rather go DoorDash for 8 hours, right? Um, it's all about priorities in life. So, but we are at 9:02. I do want to respect the time. So, guys, happy Monday. Let's have a great week. So, for those in the community, I am opening the Google Meets at 9:30. So, give me about 30 minutes. I like to just go grab a little snack, and then we'll get ready for market open. If you're on TikTok or YouTube and you're not in the community, you guys can come into the Google Meets as well. If you just want to ask questions, you want to hang out, all you guys got to do is just sign up, and you can even sign up for the free one, right? And then come in. We let you guys pop in from time to time because we want to show you guys what we got. We like to be super transparent. and what we do and what we offer. So um, just come hang out. So we'll be here, botjock.com. I'm going to stop on the YouTube here, and guys, look for that invite out in the community in about 30 minutes or so.